Hello guys, in this video I will teach you how to do all the configurations required and how to set up your environment to deploy the code that I built using an open source data stack. We will be using Minio as our object storage for our data sources. We will be using Airbyte as our data ingestion tool, DBT core for data transformation, Apache Airflow to orchestrate our pipelines, and PostgreSDB as our data warehouse. Over all these technologies, we will be using Openmetadata as our metadata management tool. All these technologies are containerized, so you will need to have Docker and Docker Compose installed. So let's start. I will come to my repository and do a git clone. Here, I'm going to open a terminal and do git clone. Nice. So now I'm going to move to that folder and I will run docker compose sap dash dash build. This could take between 2 or 3 minutes, so I'm going to pause the record for a couple of minutes. So now that uh, everything is finished, we can validate by going to our Docker desktop and see that our containers are running. Or if you prefer, you can open a new terminal and run a docker ps command. So I'm going to be following the README instructions to set up all my environment. So here we have the credentials, and let's see. We have already done the steps 1, 2, 3. So now we have to perform Airflow configurations. So I'm going to open Airflow, and the credentials for Airflow are user Airflow, admin Airflow, password Airflow, and Airflow. So I'm come here, connections. First we need to create the Minio S3 connection. I'm going to do it. Amazon Web Services, AWS default, and in extra I need to paste this JSON. So if I run a test, I will get an error. Just ignore it, please. I will click on save. In case you want to use this stack to build your own pipelines, you will need to have the Postgres connection in Airflow. So I will teach you how to do it. Just Postgres as host Postgres DWH, and the same for schema, login, and password. And for port 5432, as you can see here. Let's click on test, connection successfully. Then we need to, if you want to do something with Airbyte from Airflow, I will teach you how to create it. Connection ID, Airbyte default. The host is host docker internal. The username is Airbyte. The password is password. And the port is 8000. So let's do a test and save. So when we finish with the Airflow configurations, it says that we need to run the Airflow DAG called upload data to S3. So let's do it. Let's turn on this DAG. Let's wait until it finishes. Okay, it finished successfully. Now we have to, what that pipeline does is to upload our S3 files that are stored in this data CSV folder to Minio. So the username for Minio is Minio underscore admin and Minio underscore password. Login. And we will see in our raw bucket that we have our files. So let's continue. Now it says that we need to do the perform Airbyte configurations. So let's open Airbyte and let's start with the configurations. Here you just need to use a simple email and let's get started. Then we need to create three S3 connections because we are going to be working with three different kind of data. Data related to customer, data related to transactions, and data related to customer drivers. Okay, so let's do the first configuration. We come here, we come to sources, we search for S3, and just follow the instructions. Source name S3, CDC, output string daily customer information, pattern of files to replicate customer CSV, bucket raw, AWS access key ID, Minio admin. So I found an issue in the README that I have already solved, and it's in the output stream name. We are going to use daily customer information CDC instead of just daily customer information. Then the other fields are okay. AWS access key ID, we have that here, Minio admin, Minio password, path prefix customer backslash, endpoint host docker internal 9000, and then just scroll until the end and select setup source. Okay, that's nice. We are going to repeat this step twice. Now for the daily customer drivers. So daily customer drivers here. Pattern to replicate. Raw. Minio admin. And Minio password to path prefix. And the endpoint again. We don't move anything here. And one more for the transactions. So we select this. Daily low and transactions. Transaction CSV. Raw. Okay, here is another mistake in the README. I will help you with it. It instead of customer driver is transactions here in the path prefix. So be aware of that. By the time you see the README file in GitHub, this must be fixed. So the same with host docker. And we click on setup source. So now what else? We need to create the destination, that is our Postgres DB. So let's go to destinations. Let's search for Postgres and let's do it in host, localhost, port 5455, DB name, data warehouse, default schema, Airbyte, and for user and password, data warehouse, and set up destinations. And everything's okay. Now we need to create the connections, and let's see, select the S3 customer, select connections. Let's go and create your first connection. We are going to do it for the customer information. Click on use existing source, then destination Postgres. Here we are going to check the frequency to manual, and here we are going to let this as full refresh override because the incremental, dedupe plus history and incremental append are not working as expected. They are duplicating your data. So if you click here, you will see that how are the CSV files columns mapped to your table. So let's click on setup connection and repeat this for the other two sources, for drivers, manual and full refresh override. I think as the Postgres connector its own alpha version, that's why the incremental is not working. So let's do it one more time for Loan transactions. Here we have the manual, and just if you click here, you will see also the how the table looks like. Setup connection. Okay, what else? After setting up the connection, select connections and click on sync now for your three connections. So we are here in connections and let's click on sync now for these three. This could take a couple of seconds, between less than a minute. So let's just wait. Okay, and it's done. It took 35 seconds. So let's continue with the guide. So when we finish with the Airbyte configurations, it says that we need to run the Airflow DAG called DBT model. So let's turn on our DBT model DAG. And those files from DBT, or where is our DBT folder, where is our DBT project, is here in this folder called DBT. And we have the data warehouse project here with our three layers, bronze, gold, and silver. So let's see how it's performing. So it's taking time to run our bronze, silver, and gold layers. But if we have dbVer installed, we can connect to our PostgresDB as using localhost as host, port 5455, and database, data warehouse. And if we open here, we have the database. And as schemas, we have the Airbyte schema with our tables. We have the bronze layer in which we have views. We have the the silver layer in which we have tables, and finally the gold layer where we have joined or aggregated data. So let's run a query over one of these tables, for example, loan transactions. And we can see our data here. The same for gold, for one table in our gold layer. Here it is. So this is very nice. And okay, let's see if our pipeline finish. Yeah, we only have 3 runs because we have data only for 3 days. So our pipeline is running these particular dates. So let's continue with the setup. Perform Openmetadata configurations. So we need to open Openmetadata. And let's go to this section, Open Metadata Configurations, which is here. So let's see, to connect to Open Metadata, we need to use admin. Then we click here on services. And as you can see, we have database services, pipeline services. We are going to be using these two. Let's click on database services and add add new service. And we need to create the Postgres service. So let's find Postgres. Let's call it Postgres connection. And for username, we're going to use data warehouse, the same for password, host and port Postgres DW, database, data warehouse, and let's just click on test connection and save. Then we can add an ingestion. So by default, you add the PostgreSQL metadata ingestion. So let's call it 01. If for some reason you don't get redirected to this page, you can click here on the Open Metadata icon, then Services, and you will see here your database service connection. Click it on here, go to Ingestion, and add metadata ingestion. So here, I don't recommend you to do any schema filter because Postgres needs to crawl the public database. Just enable FQN and include views. I don't like to mark deleted, soft deleted, so that's why I'm disabling that option. No schedule, and I will deploy. So I will run this, and I will add another ingestion, that is the DBT ingestion. So for the DBT ingestion, we are going to use DBT. We are going to set S3 config source. AWS key will be Minio admin, and AWS secret Minio password. AWS region, just put US is 1, it doesn't matter. And as endpoint URL, you are going to use host docker internal. Okay. DBT bucket should be DBT, and DBT object prefix should be data warehouse. And that's all what you need. Now just click on enable update description and just click on next and add and deploy. We are going to add an extra ingestion related to profiling. Uh, Here I will filter some schemas like bronze, silver, and gold. I don't recommend you to let a white space because it could cause you some troubles. And as a percentage, I will set 100 because our tables are small. So just click on next, none, and add deploy. Then click on view service. I will run the profiler and the DBT. And I would use also add lineage ingestion. So I don't want result set limit. I just want query log duration from the last 30 days. And done too. So here in Airflow, we have another pipeline called import soccer teams data. If I enable this pipeline, this pipeline will create a new schema, a new ODS schema, and tables over that schema. So if I turn this on, please make sure to run the metadata ingestion again. So I would do it. Let's see if this finish. Yeah, it's a pretty fast pipeline. And also I will be running the PostgreSQL lineage. So while this is running, we can go to explore and we can see all our layers here. And for example, if I filter my silver tables, I can come to loan transactions. I could see all the descriptions that comes from DBT. I could see the tags. I could see some sample data thanks to the profiling. I could see table profile, column profile, and data quality that comes from DBT2. So one thing I found here is like sometimes even when your DBT test runs successfully, they are not shown here like successfully. You need to click here on DBT test suite and you will see the success on your pipelines, on your test cases. So what else we have? If we go to our aggregated loan transactions, we can click on DBT and we can see the query used to create this. And we can click on lineage too. We can see all the lineage for these aggregated tables, since the Airbyte schema, the bronze schema, the silver schema, the gold schema, and the gold schema. What else Openmetadata offers to us? Well, we can, if we come here to services and we come to pipelines, we can create a new pipeline service. Let's call it Airflow con. And here, let's see which port should we be using here. It's the port of our Airflow instance, so localhost. And here in connections, let's see Postgres connection. We know it's data warehouse. Oh, in this case, we need to use the Postgres database that is associated to our Airflow server. So let's come here. And here we have the pipeline services. And here we have the host and port needed for the Postgres connection, host Docker internal. Here we have the Postgres connection. Oh, wait. For some reason, this is transposed. So here should be Airflow instead of Airbyte. So let me do a quick fix on this before. Okay, sorry for that. I solved this. And as you can see, we need the host and port. Localhost 8085. For the Postgres connection is Airflow, and host Docker internal 5432. And database will be data warehouse too. Okay, and just click on test connection. And let's see, it seems. Oh, database is not data warehouse. Database is Airflow. And let's click on test connection. And it's okay. So username and password are Airflow and database is Airflow too. So click on save, add ingestion, and include lineage, include tags, okay, everything is okay. Add deploy, view service, and let's run this ingestion. And now, as you can see, here in our pipeline services, we can see our three tags. And let's go to the upload DBT model. We could see the tasks. We can see the DAG too. Lineage feature, I don't know how this is working too much. I haven't explored this part for pipeline services. So we can see all the same for import soccer themes. We can see the DAX, the graph view. We can see the executions too and lineage. So we can do the same for Airbyte. Let's do it. So let's call it AirbyteCon and let's go to our documentation here. It says Docker internal and Airbyte and password. Let's click on test connection, save, add ingestion, next, and deploy manually. View service, we have to run this ingestion. And after refreshing the page, we can see our connections that we create in Airbyte 2. If we click on one of them, we can see the list of tasks. We can see there is a DAG view. I think in this case it's not useful too much. And that's all I want to show you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. By the time you be going through the README, it will be fixed and tuning. So have a nice day. Bye bye.